That's mine. I haven't brought it down. I haven't heard that get this radio. I want my thing. Okay. Hold that clock stick. Hold up that clock. Hold up.
Thank you, though.
I'll take a sec.
About 6, 8 feet deep. So, you know, the channel But was it on, I didn't know it was on all four. I believe, well, these guys. If it's in the model, then it why would they do it on all four? Say one. This is like right there. I say, okay, I'll see it tomorrow. So the rest of the place there's a guy that showed me around the point of the turns out his grandfather was referred there have been somebody is trying to it's awfully kind of you because yes, I think that's a pretty important thing. You know, I think eventually one way or another I appreciate that. I agree, and I think along those lines, Clair River. Right. Usually, I mean, they're
Cool, that'll work.
but I thought
That'll work. That'll work.
one of those. How the heck is you? As I said, you go to the driver's side door, remember? I said, go to the driver's side door.
A lot of shit on the rider side. I got a bunch of tags and seals. Not garbage, just a bunch of tags and seals. Flow, you know, 2-3 uniforms. I had a, did I tell you, Robert, I had a case of vertigo come back with a vengeance. Do you think it was bad the first
And you
time?
lay down in your truck.
No, I sat in my seat for an hour and a half because I was throwing up. I threw up probably 10 times. Dude, I was so sick, I couldn't see. I had to have that pointed out where it was. I couldn't function enough to look over and go, okay, which is the low dose? I was so sick. When I was in the checkout line, I was taking because I couldn't stand it. And I got outside to the waistband and I started retching. There was nothing on my stomach. I can't really throw up.
That's the worst part. You can't do it.
For 2 days, my chest and lungs just ached and there's nothing coming out. I sat there from 11 o'clock, quarter to 11 to 1:35 or 11. Perfect. And once the medicine got a hold of me, it kicked in really good, and then I went over and got something to eat.
Did you start back up on your phone?
Oh yeah. I'm going on the 8th, I think it is, to Brett Schneider and see what's wrong with the ears, because both ears feel plugged. They feel plugged. And I got a feeling they're going to end up putting little tubes or something in and getting the shit out of them. I swear, that's got to be what's wrong with it. No, this is on the inside. I think it's the extension tube is plugged, or whatever they call it.
You might have short legs. People that have short legs are the ones who usually have heart attacks. So, or if they're in the wrong flow,
Right.
you can't get the airflow in there.
Right. Well, I'm saying that's got to be what it is, because it's driving me nuts. Because this ear bothers me. Like this morning I blew my nose, and it was like I was underwater. You know what I mean? And you could feel pressure on both ears. Not really. Not a lot. I get a little bit, but not like Freddie, where, man, it's come out and... Oh. Shit, I love that. My ears itch all the time. Mom used to sit there with a Q-tip or with a bobby pin and just dig around, not inside. I could sit there for hours because my ears always itch. Dr. Love?
Every other week.
I know Dr. Love. Right.
And then he had wires and that's what he would do is just get in and do it never use it. So actually things that you don't know what to do.
I can't figure it out. But I've never been able to get it. Not that I know. Just I've never been able to breathe. I'm afraid to. Hey, man. Hi, guys. I'm afraid to have that done because Mom had her deviated septum fixed and all her allergies showed up. She had a hay fever and all that. I don't have any of that problem. I'm around dry chemical powder where most people can't stand it. Don't bother me because I can't breathe it.
Which is causing problems with your ears.
Could have.
So when you stretch Schneider, just let me know.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it all looked at because it's like I don't want to be the vertigo. I had no symptoms. Tuesday morning, I got up, I had breakfast, did my work. I was at South Park Welding. I climbed out of the truck to get that. Boom! Just that quick. Like if you were to walk around a corner and I socked you one right in the nose. It hit me so quick, instant sweat. I was standing there. And it was literally dripping off my arm. It was dripping. The guys are like, that's pretty funny. Because it was about this temperature of it, and it was dripping, literally dripping off my body.
Now, did they do a
They did both. They were more interested in the damage
Oh,
to
I
the
know.
brain that was there.
But to have an MRI of the spine
No, I don't.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think they did that. They did everything else,
You
but
might want to do one.
yeah.
But all he's going to do is shove the camera up in there, and he'll only go in about this far. So they'll reverse the length of the picture.
Yeah.
Stick it back, and he can.
It's not going to see much because it's so plugged. But I'm always like that. The only time I have relief is when we're in like Vegas. I can breathe.
Not only camera, he's got brushes, and he's got like a squirt gun, and he can actually rinse everything out.
Oh.
See everything.
That I'd like. So now I Holy shit. Holy smokes. He almost followed you. Getting damn close.
He's gonna go fast.
Yes, he is. That's all right, though. All right, buddy. Good for you.
Nice day.
You got enough seniority. You can say, you know what? I need nothing else. That's what I mean. You know, it's like going to the shit man. You know what, guys?
Well, it can hurt, not me. Yeah, I put it down.
Hey, you guys, hey, boys, go right up there and ask for some earplugs. Go get yourself some earplugs. Bring your dad back some too.
I already got selective here. Yeah, you know, it's a beautiful day today. It's been beautiful all week. I've been working.
Dude, we gotta have something. I should work every Saturday. There's always something to be done. I need to go. You know what? Anymore, I just say screw it. I'm gonna be dead and gone, and it ain't gonna matter. The work still ain't gonna be done. So what do I care? I hate to say it that way, but that's pretty much the way it goes. You're not gonna be dead and gone, and the pool still needs to be clean, and there's it ain't gonna matter. You know what? Don't smell the roses, baby.
I got the time.
Yeah.
Take off.
Yep. Right. Well, when Christmas time, we're going to Portland. Oh, Amy and Chris are now going to be in Portland.
Really?
Yeah. We got they're closing their San Francisco office.
Nice.
Oh yeah, because it's so friggin' expensive
Well,
out there.
nice, but closing it.
Yeah. But they got an ultra modern, even much more modern from one of the companies they bought in Portland. So the boss called him up there. He's like, what will it take to get you to move up here? So he said, well, I need somebody to help move in, and I need this, and I need this, and Chris needs a raise. They gave him about a $30,000 a year raise, and he said, hey, I'll move all of your shit. They're moving. They even offered Amy a job, and he said, no. He said, I don't want to do anything. Do something wrong and get him fired because of me doing something. I'll find something on my own. I'll help you find something. So that's good. So we're going to Portland Christmas time. We'll be coming home New Year's Day. Flying home New Year's Day. So we're gonna go down and get lots of boat pictures, hopefully. You can, as long as you get your earplugs, you can walk in there with them too. Set up cameras and stuff.
I gotta set up right now. So something. Plus,
I'm just saying. Don't feel, hump yourself. They just want to be extremely careful because of we don't have as good whistles this year. Last year we had 60 whistles. Yeah, it was just, my Texas wall. It's okay. It's just a sensitive. And I was going on with it. That's all you need a hand on the wall. I was scared. Oh my They got so many people to do the work though. I used to sit back and enjoy it. Usually I'm the one up on top of the thing. Got everybody What's your dream? See, after a while, I let the younger folk do it. Let them learn. Right. That's right, babe. That's right. You gotta come up, man. You gotta go do a stay down the river type of thing. You haven't done one in like 2 years. I gotta send it to you. I got your what's your youngest daughter's name? Kayla? I think I gotta pick her. Picture of her. I've been meaning to send you. I sent this 25 files, like stuff I haven't sent out yet. It's like I gotta send that to you. You're on Facebook. Are you on? You're on all your tips and all that.
Your plug?
I'll you saw one. about it 10.
Ours was 40.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this has got tile on it. All that shit. Regular tile like the bathroom tile.
Yeah, see?
She spent a lot of money. It's a beautiful pool. It's just,
Yeah, if you're not gonna use it.
I'm never there to enjoy it. You know, if I got out there every day, because when I was at that point where I was in the snow, I was one of those you look like a skinny cub. You just get in.
Oh, yeah, those
You know, you can adjust the flow and
Yeah.
swim against it. I'd buy one of those. You know, it takes a whole lot less space, and then you pull the plug and it drains, and
Yeah.
it's done. You know, no water. I would. I like the water. I just. I would. I'd do one of those.
Can't hear that.
I get one of those showers that have the water fountain. You ever seen one of those?
Yeah.
The whole side of it fills with the water. I was thinking of doing that, and then I'm thinking, are you back in the day? Are you kidding me? They'd use all 60 gallons of water in there.
Oh, I had 3 showers today at the Elvis Cup Bowl. He was not even showered. Dawn and Joshua.
You got like 8 minutes of hot water, and then it clicks over to
I can
cold.
put my hose.
Yeah, so they get that out of it.
Like, don't keep my carpet on those.
Oh, they'll sit there all day. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm thinking of that water that's cascading over there, how expensive it is. I sure as hell hope it's recycled somewhere after a million years. Your water bill and your heat bill is outrageous.
I've seen the shower heads that are on timers.
Oh, there's one at a time.
You'll get full pressure and then you can set it. Then it will just eventually
Go right down to nothing.
so it's like really low pressure. Dripping out.
So it's like you're freezing your hands.
Out.
What a great idea.
We've been talking about different things.
Yeah, well, that's our next thing. We have to replace our electricity. If I could do it my way, I'd move to What? What was that? Oh, no. I can cut. You rent a building for that.
What a shit. Get one of those
Just like
pods.
all those digital images in your slides.
One of those pods.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a pod. Hey, how you doing, guys? Go, Brian.
Brother Brian.
108. Everyone's around here somewhere.
I'd like to welcome everyone back. My name is Dan Lockwood. I'm from the St. Clair Downtown Development Authority, and we're involved in this event. Al and Eric are doing a final check, and hopefully in a minute they'll tell me they're ready. While they're doing it, I'll just get through a little business. First of all, I'd like to let all you guys know the people who put this on. Al Johnson. Al, would you raise your hand? Al is a glue who makes this whole thing work, and he just does an absolutely fantastic job. Next to him, or on the back with the hat, is Eric Cameron. Eric, raise your hand. Eric is our boiler expert. He's the one who gets us through the state boiler inspection. Another person that you all need to know is Dave Michelson. Dave is our whistle historian and Great Lakes historian. I'll just tell you a little secret. We have a lot of support from the Dawson Museum, and the reason we do is in their collection they have about a dozen whistles which they've been unable to identify. Dave has identified Dave has identified 5 whistles. We happen to have 3 of them today, and they didn't take them down. So that's exciting. Then in back is Kenny Young. Kenny handles our sound system. He's from Cable 6, and we're really delighted for him. In between whistle blows, we invite you to walk around town. There's a lot of activity going on. If you haven't noticed, we have Chalk to Walk, and there's people drawing their chalk masterpiece on the sidewalks at Riverview Plaza. Take a walk and walk through. You'll be amazed at the talent in this community. Captain Jim is running, first of all, he's got a great collection of marine art, but he also is running a shipbuilding modeling shop today where you can go through and learn about how to make paper models, and it's really kind of interesting. Today at 1:30, between 1:30 and 4, the St. Clair Historical Museum is open. And if you're not familiar with the maritime history of St. Clair, you really need to walk over. The Maritime Room is very proud for a community of our size. They've done a great job of showcasing our history. Also on Clinton Avenue, if you've never been seen before, we have a number of mosaics of shilts that were built in St. Clair. Each one of them has a QR code, and if you have a smartphone with a reader, it'll take you to a website that gives you the history of that boat. And I can't stop, but it's almost noon, and at noon the St. Mary's Fall Festival starts, and we'll go till 11 or 12 o'clock tonight, so you need to stop by. Behind the bleachers here, the St. Clair Rotary Club is selling raffle tickets for a Great Lakes Beta raffle. Most likely would be the Paul Tagurtha. It'd be for the 2016 shipping season. You go from St. Clair, Superior, Wisconsin. Tickets are $10, and you get to take 5 of your best friends. So it's 6 people. If you don't have a ticket, please consider buying one. The small whistles down here, we give you an opportunity to blow a whistle. Take a chance, go down and blow one. We also have your picture taken, and that's compliments of St. Clair Wellness Center. No charge, so take home for kids' sake. This is a dangerous event. We ask you to stay behind the caution tape. Some of the whistles that we have haven't been blown in 60 years. We believe they're safe, but we're not taking any chances. About 3 years ago, we did have one whistle fall off the manifold, so we really ask you to stay away, particularly during the blowing. Hearing is a big deal, and I just want to tell you that this event could damage your ears. Sometimes it's only temporary, sometimes it's permanent. Carol over here has hearing protection. We have plugs for adults. We have muff for kids. You're out. Well, okay. I'll have to get some more next year. But we definitely have ear plugs. If you don't have them, please take a minute and get some. David? Oh, one last thing. Everyone asks, how much steam does a whistle take? And for those of you who have not noticed, up here on the top, we have the steam gauge. And if you can see that needle, you can see it bob. And if it bobs to the left, my right, your left, you can watch as the steam is pulled away from this thing. The way our steam whistle works is we have this green cylinder. That's our boiler. And then the black item, that cylinder that's up, that's a vertical, that is our holding tank. It holds 1,500 gallons of superheated steam. And we have been challenged, but I don't think any of the whistles this year are going to challenge us. So, I'll turn it over to Dave.
All right, thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone, again, to our 7th Whistles on the Water event. We have a lot of really nice whistles here this year. I'll just point out just a few highlights here at the start. Over on the left-hand side in positions 1 through 4 We have four 12-inch diameter 3-note chimes. It's probably almost never happened before where you'll have four extraordinarily large steam whistles of that type together. There's only a very few of those left in existence, and probably the biggest single population of them is here right now. In addition, we have two Great Lakes car ferry whistles here that have never been here before, and that's the Ann Arbor number 6 and Ann Arbor number 7. We have 3 passenger ships, a variety of freighters, old and new. So with that, I'll get started here. Starting with the position number 1, as I was saying, this is the first of 4 12-inch diameter single note chimes that we're going to blow today. This particular one was made by the Crosby Steam Gauge and Valve Company of Boston, Massachusetts. This whistle was installed on the Hudson Motor Car Company plant in Detroit, Michigan, down in the corner of Jefferson and Connor. And that whistle was on the plant until the plant closed in 1954. And that whistle's been in a private collection since. So this whistle would have been something that you would have heard on a daily basis on the east side of Detroit. So again, the 12-inch Crosby chime from the Hudson Motor Car Company plant. Okay, the next whistle on position number 2 is, again, a 12-inch diameter 3-note single bell chime manufactured by the Star Brass Company. This one's rather unique in that the valve is actually integrated into the whistle. It's all one unit, and the pattern is what's referred to as the extra heavy pattern. This whistle was used on the Imperial Chemical Products plant in Boston, Massachusetts in the early parts of the last century. The whistle has been in the ownership of Mr. Harry Berry for the last 20 years. So again, this is the 12-inch diameter single note chime made by the Star Brass Manufacturing Company of Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, the whistle on position number 3 is again another 12-inch diameter, 3-note single bell chime. And this particular whistle is from the passenger cruise vessel South American. The whistle was originally on the steamer Alabama of the Goodrich line. It dates back to 1910. In about 1950, that whistle was removed from the Alabama and put on the South American because the South American's original whistle was damaged. So from 1950 to 1967, this would be the whistle that you would have heard on the South American, and it brings back many memories to a lot of people who took class trips, family vacations, and so on. And it was a frequent sight passing right through here in the river. So, your name is? Okay, and you were aboard the South American. You took a trip. So we're going to give you an opportunity to give her a pull. Very good. You're a pro. Or let me see if I can do what she did. Okay, next we have the last of our 4 12-inch chimes. This being another Star Brass Manufacturing whistle that was used on the Fort Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. And I was asked earlier, why would they have a whistle on a prison? And I said, well, they really wanted a large whistle that could be really heard in every square inch of that prison. If you had an escape, or a disturbance, or a riot, or anything that needed the attention of the guards and the officials of the prison. So this would be your, this was certainly your whistle. And when you hear this, you'll know why. This has quite a sound. So again, the 12-inch diameter 3-note chime made by the Star Brass Company. Okay, the whistle on position number 5 is one that we've never had here before. This is the whistle that belongs to the City of Milwaukee Car Ferry Museum up in Manistee. This is the whistle, the original whistle, from the Car Ferry Ann Arbor number 7. built by the Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company in 1925 for the Ann Arbor Railroad. And for anyone who lived up in Frankfurt or lived across the lake in Kewanee or Manitowoc, this would have been a very familiar sound from 1925 up until maybe 1960. This is an especially long whistle. This is probably the longest belled whistle that we have here today. It's 10 inches in diameter, and the bell length is 50 inches. The next longest one we've had here blown today is 48 inches. So this will probably be the deepest sounding whistle that you'll hear here all today. So again, I'm going to reach up close to blow this. I can't use the lanyard for it because you have to pull down. So I got my gloves and we're ready to go. I'll bet on the right kind of night, out on Lake Michigan, a foggy, calm night, you probably could hear that whistle for 20 miles. Okay, moving on to number 6. Again, another one that it took some research, but I was able to identify it. It was in the warehouse of the Detroit Historical Commission down in Fort Wayne. But looking at photographs and doing a lot of comparing, we were able to identify this whistle as being from the excursion steamer Put-in-Bay. The Put-in-Bay was built back in 1911 by the Detroit Shipbuilding Company at Wyandotte, Michigan for the Ashley and Dustin line. And her intended purpose was to run excursions between Detroit, Put-in-Bay, Ohio, and Cedar Point. And yes, back in 1911, there was an amusement park at Cedar Point. She would do this on a daily basis during the warm season, May through September. And when she would return to Detroit at night, she would take moonlight cruises. She would take large groups of people out on moonlight cruises on the Detroit River and Lake St. Clair for dancing and just generally enjoying the cool breeze of the moonlight. So it's very memorable for a lot of the people who were young in the teens and the 20s. The Put-in-Bay operated until 1950, 1951. The economics of that excursion to Put-in-Bay were put to an end thanks to the automobile and modern roads. So in 1953, it was decided to demolish the Put-in-Bay, and before they demolished it, they took the entire ship out into Lake St. Clair and they set the wooden superstructure on fire, burned the entire superstructure off, so all they had left was the hull. the main deck of the hull and below. That was taken to Windsor in 1954. That was scrapped. So we're lucky today that we've been able to identify that the Put-in-Bay's whistle was preserved. You're seeing it here just as it looked probably when it was taken off of the ship sometime in the early 1950s. It's probably good to assume that this whistle had not been blown until today, in perhaps close to 65 years. So again, this is a 10-inch by 30-inch single note from the excursion boat Put-in-Bay. The next whistle, position number 7, was another one that through some research we were able to identify. And this one actually wasn't too difficult to identify because of one unique feature about it. This is the whistle from the city of Detroit III. This was an absolutely palatial overnight passenger ship that was heralded when it was built in 1912 as the largest side-wheeled passenger ship in the world, capable of carrying up to 5,000 passengers. I don't know where they put them all, but that's what their claim was. Anyway, this particular whistle had a real novel feature about it in that on the valve, you want to show them? Point it out to them, Fritz. The valve has an electric solenoid system. You could operate this whistle 2 ways. You could push a button in the pilot house, or you could pull the handle down. So this was one of only 2 back in the day that I'm aware of, or anyone else I've talked to, that actually had this electrical system. And this was a very, very modern, far-reaching thing for that particular era. So again, this is another whistle. The City of Detroit III operated primarily from Detroit to Cleveland as an overnight passenger ship running opposite another ship that was named City of Cleveland III. This ship was very popular with celebrities, especially with a lot of sports celebrities. 2 notable ones who were frequent travelers on it were fellows by the name of Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth. They actually would travel together on this particular ship. Following World War II, the automobile had really taken hold. The airplane was coming into the picture, and the days of the overnight passenger ship were coming to an end. The City of Detroit III made a desperate attempt to try to go into the cruise business, making trips up to Mackinac Island, making trips up to Duluth. It simply wasn't economical. So she was retired in the early 1950s. Her hull, her cabins were stripped off. Her hull was scrapped in Detroit, but not until some of the beautiful, intricate woodwork was preserved. And one large example of that woodwork is at the Dawson Great Lakes Museum on Belle Isle, and this is the Gothic room. If you've ever been to the Dawson Museum, right when you walk in the door, here's this magnificent woodwork and stained glass. If you haven't, you need to go there sometime and see it. So here's one of the remnants of the city of Detroit III, a different era in travel, and we'll blow it today, not electrically, but manually, and it's another one I'm going to need to get underneath. So here we go. Okay, the next whistle, position number 8, is from the Ann Arbor Car Ferry, Ann Arbor number 6. And the Ann Arbor number 6 was built, it was originally built under contract to be used on the railroad across Lake Erie. I think it's the Toronto, Hamilton, and Buffalo Rail Company line. It was to be named Maitland number 2. However, the Ann Arbor Railroad had used the Maitland number 1 on their route. They liked it so much that they purchased the Maitland number 2 before it was finished at the shipyard and had it named Ann Arbor number 6. So this ship went up, and again, it worked across Lake Michigan from 1916 until actually about 1982. In the early or late 50s, the ship was converted from steam power to diesel power. The whistle was removed, and actually for a short time, this whistle was placed on the Ann Arbor number 7, and this has created something of a mystery because the whistle, when we picked it up at Fort Wayne, it's clearly marked on the whistle Ann Arbor number 7, and it has a tag from the Fraser Shipyard of Superior, which is the yard that had converted the Ann Arbor number 7 from steam to diesel, and that was in 1965. So it's a little bit confusing, but through photography, we know that this whistle was on the Ann Arbor number 6 for many, many, many years, not the Ann Arbor number 7. So we don't know anything about the manufacturer. This particular whistle is very, very well made, has an excellent sound. In my opinion, you hear it, you'll understand. It's actually a very, very powerful tone. So with that, I'll blow the Ann Arbor number 7, and I gotta pull down and go underneath it again. All right, in position number 9 is another famous whistle to this area. This is the whistle from the Pablo excursion boat Columbia. Now, probably some of you, at least, maybe most of you, have heard recently or read that the Columbia is now going to New York. It's going to have a new life as an excursion boat on the Hudson River. I wish them all the luck. This whistle's going to stay here. It's part of our history. The Columbia dates back to the year 1902. It was built by the Detroit Shipbuilding Company at Wyandotte, Michigan, and it was built for the Detroit Windsor Car Ferry Company. This whistle was engaged in the service of taking passengers from Detroit to Pablo Island for nearly 90 years. So it took generations of Detroiters to the amusement park. So many, many, many people have fond memories of the Columbia and her sister ship, the St. Clair, making that excursion down to Pablo Island. The sound was a very familiar sound in downtown Detroit, with departure of the ship and the echoing of this whistle around the skyscrapers of downtown Detroit. So we're so happy to have this whistle here. It's one remaining memory that a lot of people have of fond times down at Pablo. Okay, in position number 10, this is a whistle that was typical of large factories in the late 1800s. It was a concept that was patented where you had one single axis and you had a common hole or opening going in two directions. So this is actually a two-bell chime. It's referred to as a gong. This is a 12-inch diameter gong made by the Union Water Meter Company of Worcester, Massachusetts. They made these things beginning just after the Civil War, and they ceased making them by 1900. So this is actually a very, very venerable whistle. One of the features of these is the sound is quite mellow, although it can be heard for a great distance. But maybe the other thing about it is the consumption of steam that these would actually do. So you will notice when I blow this, the amount of steam that actually comes out. So again, 12-inch diameter, two-bell gong made by the Union Water Meter Company. Okay, whistle in position number 11. It's a well-known manufacturer of whistles. In fact, among collectors, it seems to be one of the most popular. This particular one is 10 inches in diameter, which, pardon me.
You have northbound later.
Oh, we have a freighter coming, so we're going to give this guy a salute. Oh, good. I'm going to actually call him up on the radio. Station calling Herbert C. Jackson. Herbert C. Jackson on channel 11. Over. Thanks very much, Captain. That's the steamer Herbert C. Jackson. Earlier this morning, she completed unloading iron ore pellets down in River Rouge at the AK Steel Company. Hold on just a minute there. She's upbound again for Marquette for another load of iron ore pellets. What she saluted us with was a type of DBE 300 horn. And the last horn that I blew is the same horn that she signaled to us with. So I appreciate her very much responding to our call. Okay, getting back to where we were. Position 11, this 10-inch diameter Lunkenheimer single note, 3-note chime comes off of the Mack truck assembly plant in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This plant was in business for a good number of years, and this was on top of their boiler house to signal the beginnings and the ends of their shifts. So we're very happy to have this whistle as part of the collection here locally. And again, I'll give you a quick salute on this. Okay, whistle on position number 12. Very historic whistle to the local area. This is the whistle from the steamer Kalkaska. Kalkaska was built right here in St. Clair, over on the Pine River, at the Simon Langell shipyard way back in 1884. This was a wood-hulled ship, 178 feet in length, and the Kalkaska probably was best used in the hauling of lumber, probably occasionally coal or stone, but probably mostly lumber, up until 1920 when she was converted to a sand boat, one that would come out here and dig sand and deliver at the local docks. The Kalkaska had a good long life for a wooden vessel. She lasted until 1932. She was laid up because of the Depression at the Sidney McLeod shipyard in Marine City, and somehow on September 15, 1932, the Kalkaska caught fire and was a total loss. However, a portion of her hull was salvaged, taken down to Montreal, and was actually used as a lighter for several years after that. The manufacture of this whistle is unknown to myself. We've seen other ones like this, and just it doesn't match up with any of the illustrations or anything we have from catalog pages. So we're really not sure who made this, but it was not made at the Langell shipyard, that's for sure. Whistle's 8 inches in diameter, 30 inches in length. That's the bell size. Interesting thing, it's made entirely out of iron. It was typical back in that day that a lot of whistles, especially in applications where they wouldn't be near salt water or corrosive atmosphere, they'd simply make them out of iron rather than brass or bronze. So here we have an iron one that has managed to survive, thanks first of all to the McLeod family, and then to the Port Huron Museum. And it's the Port Huron Museum who graciously loaned this to us today for you to hear. So again, the whistle from the St. Clair built steamer Kalkaska. Whistle on position number 13. We are pleased to have that here this year. It's its first time. This is one of 2 whistles that were on board a ship called the Louis G. Harriman. The Louis G. Harriman was built way back in 1923 and was the first ship on the Great Lakes to be built from the keel up expressly for the transport of bulk cement. It was built for the Huron Cement Company of Alpena. It's quite a novel thing at the time. Prior to this, cement was hauled either in sacks or barrels. So this greatly improved the efficiency of the transport of bulk cement. The ship was built at Toledo. The whistle itself is an excellent example of a Toledo Shipbuilding Company whistle. It's 10 inches in diameter, 36 inches in length. The ship was originally named the John W. Boardman, and in 1965 it was given the name Louis G. Harriman, and she continued to run up until the 1980 season. And following that, she spent about 20 years sitting in one port or another, being used as a storage vessel. Finally, in 2004-2005, she was taken up to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and reduced to scrap metal, except the forward cabin. Everything from the forecastle up was preserved, and now a summer home up on the St. Mary's River just above Detour. The folks that own that summer home actually own this particular whistle. So we're very pleased that they came today to bring this whistle, and I hope everyone enjoys hearing it. Again, the 10-inch by 36-inch whistle from the Louis G. Harriman. Now, position number 14, we have a whistle that's the same size, however, made by a different shipbuilder. This is a 10-inch by 36-inch American Shipbuilding Company whistle, Cleveland, Ohio. There were a good many of these whistles installed on various bulk freighters from 1900 up until about 1930. And when I say hundreds, it was in the many hundreds. This particular whistle was actually quite a common sound on the river along here. This particular one reportedly comes from the steamer Joseph H. Franz. Joseph H. Franz built in Ecorse, Michigan in 1925. Had a good long career, spanning nearly 80 years. In the mid-60s, the Franz was converted to diesel propulsion, in addition to being rebuilt as a self-unloader, which greatly extended its life, and was not disposed of until about the year 2005, when she was taken to Port Colborne and cut up for scrap metal. So what you just heard before was a 10 by 36 from the Toledo Shipbuilding Company. Now you'll hear a 10 by 36 plane from the American Shipbuilding Company. Whistle on position number 15 was another popular excursion vessel, however not in this area. This ship operated over on the eastern end of Lake Erie. This was from the excursion vessel Canadiana. Canadiana operated out of Buffalo over to amusement park and beaches over in Ontario. Operated for a good many years. Spent their last years either in Cleveland, idle, or finally over in Port Colborne, where there was a group who were trying to preserve it, but simply could not do it, and the vessel was reduced to scrap. So this is an example. This is, again, another American shipbuilding company whistle. Basically the same proportions as the one on number 14, only this is a 8-inch diameter. The 8-inch diameter actually is quite unusual. I only know of a few of them, this being one, and they have a distinctly different sound. But you can see everything is just proportionately smaller, which is quite interesting that you can see this comparison of size. So again, this is the 8-inch diameter American Shipbuilding Company whistle from the excursion steamer Canadiana. Number 17, this is another type of whistle. Over in here on the first four, we had 3-tone whistles where the individual tones were inside the barrel. The barrel was divided into 3 sectors. Each one had its own length, and that's a single bell 3-note chime. Now this one here is a 3-note chime, but it's made up of 3 distinct whistles connected together on a common manifold. This particular one has sizes 7-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch. All of the whistles have a length to diameter ratio of 3 to 1. This particular whistle comes from the crane and self-unloading ship Buckeye, which was built way back in 1910. And this particular whistle was only put on a few select vessels. The particular reason or whatever of how these ships got them is really unknown. But this ship, which was christened the Leonard B. Miller, received one of these whistles. Today, there's only a couple of these known in existence. We're very pleased today to have one of these examples of a large 3-bell chime Great Lakes whistle here. So this is one that for us in the immediate area probably won't sound that good, However, if you were about a half a mile away, it actually has a very, very nice horn. So you won't appreciate it as well as the people about a half mile away. So this is the 3-bell chime from the steamer Buckeye. By the 1940s, things were changing. The ships were now being propelled by steam turbines. The old reciprocating engines were on their way out. These systems were closed systems. They did not use, they reused the water, so there wasn't as much water available. Steam whistles, by virtue of what they do, they're very inefficient. It takes a great deal of energy to produce all the steam that we're sending out through these whistles. So the concept of the air horn had already been created, and the Leslie Company in the 1930s came up with the steam horn. And today we have 3 examples, 3 different sizes of Leslie Python steam horns. The earliest vessels to have these were on the Great Lakes were in 1938 with the urban class ships. Shortly thereafter, all ships had Python horns, and this continued up until the 1960s, when things changed from steam horns over to air horns and piston horns. We'll give you an example of one of those here in just a minute. So these particular 3 represent, I should say, the 300, the middle-sized one, actually is not from the Charles M. Beagley, but the other 2 are from the steamer Charles M. Beagley that was built at Toledo, Ohio in 1959 for the Shenango Furnace Company, and it's the only vessel on the Great Lakes that ever had these 3 sizes of Python horn. Typically, there were several Great Lakes ships that had the 2 larger ones, but not the small ones. So here we have examples of all 3 sizes, and what we're going to do, I'm going to start with the smallest one, which is the DVE 200. And that 200 means that the diaphragm is 200 millimeters in diameter. So we all know what the difference is between a whistle and a horn, right? A whistle has no moving parts. The sound is actually created by the movement of the steam, the gas, inside of the chamber of the whistle, producing an oscillating pressure wave. So the whistle itself has no moving parts. The difference with a horn is, a horn has a disc of metal that vibrates back and forth. Okay, when you put pressure against that disc will vibrate. The larger the disc, the lower the pitch of the horn. So we have here a 200 millimeter, a 300 millimeter, and down on the ground we have a 425 millimeter. The Leslie Company made one size larger, and that's a 575 millimeter. It was never used on the Great Lakes. The applications for that were like battleships, like the Iowa class battleships. All of our aircraft carriers, up into including some of the latest ones, were and some of the largest passenger vessels, such as the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth. But other than that, they were never used on anything else. We would one day like to get our hands on one. We hopefully will. So we'll have examples of all four sizes. What we're going to do here now, I'm going to blow the 200, the 300, 425, and then I'm going to blow some combinations of chimes, 2-note and 3-note chimes with these particular whistles. So with the help of my assistants here, we'll give this a try. As I was saying, by the 1970s, steam was gone altogether. Weren't putting steam turbines into ships anymore. Everything was diesel. So we went to what was known as air or piston horn. This particular horn here is an air chime EP90. This is not actually pressure going against the diaphragm. This is actually a piston inside the horn, that the oscillation of the piston is what creates the sound wave. And the 90 refers to that this one is producing a sound at 90 cycles per second. So it's a very deep sound. There's a few of the 1,000-footers that have this particular horn on them. It should be a familiar sound. If you've been down here in the boardwalk, watch the 1,000-footers blow a salute. So we're going to give her a go here. So there you have it. Here's the lineup of whistles. I appreciate everyone's attention. Thank you again very much for coming out today. We're going to take a brief